Access granted.
Hello? Hey, buddy, I got 1 minute. I'm going on the air. Let's chat again soon. Take care. Take care, buddy. I'll be calling you. Bye-bye.
Welcome to the Center of Light Radio with spiritual teacher, intuitive, musician, composer, and best-selling author of The Divine Principle, Anchoring Heaven on Earth, your host, Keith Anthony.
Welcome, everyone. Center of Light Radio, Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. My name is Keith Anthony Blanchard. Coast to coast, pole to pole, all around the world on the internet, thanks to the marvel of technology. I'm coming at you live from a little old guest house in Memphis, Tennessee. You're listening to Center of Light Radio, Center of Divine Unfoldment and Reinforcement, strapping all my brother and sister astronauts as we launch for inner space. Lots of new things are happening with Center of Light Radio, as you can tell. New software, new format. Lot to it, but I'm going to make sure this all works out as it should. Tonight, I'm going to be flying solo again due to the nature of this turnover, this change. It's all possible. It's all possible. Is the title of this broadcast. Next week, I think I'm going to have someone who was recently in Center of Light Radio by the name of Kelly Marie Kerr. Really powerful lady. She has her theories, her philosophy about certain biblical scripture and what it relates to inwardly into the body, to the pineal gland, all the chakras. Really, really cool. I'm looking forward to getting back in touch with her about this new video she recently put out. So welcome everyone in the chat room, the virtual room here. As you can tell, I am no longer with Inception Radio Network as of right now, due to some changes that are happening with Inception. God bless them. I want to thank Bob, MJ, and Joe Champion for having me for 4 years to create a listenership of over 4 million people. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I never saw that coming, but I'm grateful and blessed. Change is afoot, y'all. It's happening everywhere. It's everywhere. As you look out and about, you see it. What are you seeing? Are you seeing the beauty in the world, or are you seeing what can often look like chaos? I'm seeing everything that's right, because that's what I'm focused on. I'm focused on the plant and not the weed. A couple of announcements before we get down to some Center of Light Radio business. Let me acknowledge everyone who's here. It's one thing I absolutely love doing, is acknowledging the people that support me and my work. Richard Wilson, Sue Lindsay, Dan Hoquist, my brother, Becky, Jason, Chris. Welcome everyone. I have an idea since this is all new and I'm learning as I go, if you want to call me, send me a message in the thread here saying, yes, Keith, I'd like to call you and ask a question. We'll get you on the air, even though it's this way and not through a formal calling center. It will work. So the changes that are happening in the world, dear Lord, they're for everyone. And guess what?
Access granted.
Everyone has access to this change. I'm going to read you something here in a little bit by this holy man behind me, in the picture window behind me, that I went to see in India in the year 2000 by the name of Satya Sai Baba. And from this book, I've written about my sojourn there for the love of God. I'm going to do a little bit of reading, which will describe what is taking place in the world. And I'm asking everyone to become aware of that movement, that dynamic that is happening, that dance that is moving all of humanity and all the events in it. I know when you look out and about, it might look like, shit, Keith, this is some pretty bad stuff taking place. You know, I totally agree with that. But perception is a game changer. It changes everything to a level you never thought possible until you made such a shift. My burst of light videos that I've been doing for about a year plus now on my personal page, you could find that at facebook.com/Keith Anthony Blanchard. I do them often as I possibly can. But thanks to my support, my listening audience, because of you, after about 8 episodes, 8 presentations, just doing some archive views of my work, because I like watching my work, because I like to learn so I can always refine what I do. And after about 8 presentations, I realized, oh my God, I channeled an entire book. And it's going to be called Radical Transformation, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. And for all of you who are in the room now, as well as many others who will collect in the future and in the past, you were the reason why this book came about. You were how it came about. Radical Transformation, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. I'm working on that diligently now, but also thanks to Gavin Lee Davies from Wales in the UK, he began to read my work, The Divine Principle, as well as the book I just showed you. Let me show you The Divine Principle for those who are not aware. My bestseller, My Conversations with Spirit, for over 8 years. Gavin Lee Davis got a hold of this work and says, Keith, I'm a literary agent, book agent, and I want you to take your first 2 volumes of your work and put them together, create an opening chapter and a closing chapter, and have this tell the story in such a way it depicts the unfoldment of your life and the expansion you have received throughout your spiritual development. The company is called Sixth Books. And he wants to get me the best deal possible. And he says, Keith, I'm going to push really, really hard to get you that deal. So I've been working like a madman day and night, trying to get this all together so we could submit it to worldwide publishing for this amazing potential book deal. RPM, or you're a spiritual seeker who's ready to move forward in your life. If you're wanting to shift from struggling and feeling that life is effortless, send me an email to book a free session. Very simple. KeithAnthonyBlanchard@gmail.com and say, Keith, I would love a free session with you. And there you have it. You might be wanting to move through a block. You want to develop your intuition to greater degrees. You might want to expand your awareness. Whatever it is that you are wanting to move into, I am the perfect sounding board. I'm very, very good at it because I was taught by my mentor who taught me and who was my sounding board. And back then I was starving. I wanted it all. And I hung on every word, every movement, every breath he took. And I will be your sounding board. You lost your job. You need to create financial abundance. Whatever, again, whatever it may be. KeithAnthonyBlanchard@gmail. Title that email, Keith, I want a free session. I'll give it to you. Get you started with the possibility of moving you into full-time, my program called RPM. This is my lifelong work. 25 plus years of earnestly, honestly, blood, sweat, and tears, seeking that which is so majestic, the mind cannot contain it. In fact, the mind cannot even grasp it. And RPM is all about helping you recognize what the it is. It's the source. It's the generator. And call it what you like. But it moves everything in the human dance, and it moves all the events as well. And when we get to see it from that place, perception says, what you are seeing in the world is not what you call bad or have ever called bad. Those are words we may use to describe said events because we do need to have dialogue and conversation. But in spiritual truth, this is not what is taking place. So recognize, plug in, and manifest. Once we begin to recognize the it, that's what it is. Now we can see where the inlet is, and we plug in. Right there. That's the gateway to all of it. To all the answers. To all the riddles. Answers and riddles either both exist or both do not. We live in the do. God lives in the do not. And so once we recognize and begin the plugging in process, you expand because now you are consciously aware of who and what it is you really are. And then just by mere will, simple act of will, your life begins to manifest because you see that you are not disconnected from everything that you've ever wanted. That job that you're needing money for, as to why you would email me at keithanthonyblanchard@gmail.com and say, I want a free session. Or that relationship breakup. Or whatever it is you are wanting to experience or to move through if it is a block. RPM, recognize, plug in, and manifest. Go to Center of Light Radio. The bottom of the opening page, you will see a red Ferrari. Click on that red Ferrari. It'll take you to a website, RPM. It'll tell you what you will get and what you will be able to create. Also, while you're at Center of Light Radio, you will see a sign-up form right next to that red car on the opening page. Fill it out. When I ever have the chance to sit down and start my newsletter program, you will receive it automatically with every installment. But also, you will begin to receive bundles of all of my creations for free. Why would I do that? Because there's no overhead. It's all digital download. But it is still all of my work, my bestseller, my music, my books, my movies. Because I woke up one morning and was told, Keith, give it all away. I said, give it all away? Why would I want to do this? And it was said to me loud and clear, because you don't own it. It's not yours. You don't have the right to hoard it. And I realized in that moment, my wealth, my abundance, my money, my prosperity does not come from the outside world. It comes from my connection to something that is so beyond the outside world. Because of that connection in here, in all of us, that which lives in here creates worlds and universes. So money is really, or abundance is simply just a simple feat, right? Contact me at KeithAnthonyBlanchard@gmail.com. And I'd be more than happy to get you started in your free session. One moment. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Hello, Elizabeth. For those out there, and there are many of you who will come across this broadcast in the very near future. I understand you may have something going on in your house. Let's call them spiritual squatters. Some beings in your house, dark entities that are scaring the pants off of you. Ghosts, unsettled spirits, shadow beings. I'm your go-to guy. Again, send me an email at KeithAnthonyBlanchard@gmail.com. Tell me what's happening. And I will not leave you until your problem is resolved. I know what it can be like to have boogeymen in your house, scaring the Watusis out of you. But I come packed with an arsenal of light information that will raise the vibration of your house, you, the entire experience, and your house will return to a home. And I will not leave you until we are successful in the endeavor of cleaning it out. They don't belong there. KeithAnthonyBlanchard@gmail.com. Tell me what's going on. Life coaching. Back to RPM. This beautiful man Swamji Viswayogi. I had a phone call this morning from a dear sister friend of mine by the name of Anjana. And she says, the most exciting news a spiritual aspirant like myself could ever want to hear. Keith, Swamji is coming back to town at the end of this summer. I got so excited. Very, very excited to be around God in the form of a human being again. His message for this tour is, unity is our strength, humanity is our life. And when you're in the presence of a divinely illumined individual like this, what you know as reality changes in a moment. And it packs one amazing punch of light, and it engulfs you. And once you experience someone like this, you are changed forevermore. Because just in the experience alone, auric fields are overlapping and you are being impregnated with light and solutions and expansion. Myself and TM Garrett of Pick Arts Media, you can find him on Facebook at Pick, P-I-C, Arts Media, or facebook.com/Pick Arts Media. We're going to be gathering up again, joining forces. Likely I'm going to be doing the radio aspect of it, possibly the hosting aspect of it, the narrating aspect of it. Tim Garrett, with all of his powerful equipment, is probably going to, well, definitely going to be doing all the video and the recording. But he also has a greater purpose in this about the unification of what's going to take place in Memphis. But also this is going to trickle out into the world. I think that's where I'm going to come in as well, is being the platform of the medium, supplying whatever videos, whatever movie that will be created from Swamji Viswayogi's presence here in Memphis at the end of the summer. I'm not sure what his tour for this year is going to be titled. For my listening audience out there, again, I want to say thank you very much. And that being said, I want to see who's here. Sean, what's up, brother? Trudy, Victoria, Linda, Renee, Dana. So I'm asking everyone, if you would please, tell me, share with me, now or later, that Center of Light Radio is changing. What would you like to see happen with Center of Light Radio? Who would you like to see on Center of Light Radio? What other subjects you would like me to bring into the Center of Light Radio platform? What would you like to know more about? What would you like for me to have on as a guest, just simply because you love the topic? Because Center of Light Radio really isn't about me, though I do have my joy. It's really about everyone else. And being about everyone else, I want to know what fires your engine up. Like that red Ferrari, what fires your spiritual engine up? That's what turns my gas up, my fire up, is to be of service. Let me know what you would like Center of Light Radio to become. And I'll do everything I can to manipulate, mold, and shape and sculpt that energy until we all would like to see this new way of playing become. Again, T.M. Garrett, my dear friend, amazing story. This man has an amazing story. He was a full-blown racist, a white supremacist for many years of his life. And he was into it thick. One day he woke up and something changed just like that. Now he's dedicated the rest of his life to providing the light of unity to all people. He has his own radio show. He has his own movements. He was equally blessed when he filmed the last interview with Swamiji that I did with this holy man from India. T.M. Garrett filmed it, and we made a documentary movie. But Swamiji, who doesn't really talk except when it's time, and you don't touch this man, and he doesn't touch anyone else. I was blessed he touched me, but he also touched T.M. Garrett. And he lit him up with a mission. I know it. He said, "You, my friend, very powerful future. Lots of good things coming in the future," because he impregnated T.M. with a mission. So T.M. Garrett and I, this Thursday, we're going to have lunch. Hopefully I can talk him into buying it. But we're going to have lunch over an idea for 2 other movies. One is I Am Memphis Music, a documentary about the Memphis musical heart. How everyone, just about everyone in Memphis, all the musicians, love giving back to the community. I've been planning this for about 2.5, maybe even 3 years. But we're also going to talk about a new movie idea. Sri Yanava speaks. Ya, the heart. Na, the mind. And Va, the backbone. Will, intellect, action. So the idea, for many of you who have seen my Burst of Light live video feeds, for this entire documentary movie, educational movie, I'm going to be in channel mode. I have not done this in years. Yes, I don't like the word channel. I have vesseled my soul, our soul, all of one name, Yanava. It's a primordial sound of God, Ah. And I do this for short periods of time when I do my Burst of Light live videos. But I am going to dare to venture so far inward that I'm going to lose all awareness of my physical body. That's how far in the rabbit hole I'm going. And I have no doubt the information that is going to be brought forth is going to be something far beyond what we consider to be normal, right, wrong, good, bad. It's all noise. So I look forward to that meeting with my dear friend, Mr. T.M. Garrett, on Thursday. And I'm going to talk him into buying me lunch, you ought. I've noticed, and I'm sure we all have noticed, those who do the social media thing. I love social media. I love Facebook. People mumble and grumble and moan. I love it. I connect. I create. I support. I teach. I enlighten. I learn. Everyone nowadays has live feeds. Everyone has a live feed. They're streaming everywhere. They're streaming everywhere. Everyone wants to be a star. That's amazing because everyone is a star. Everyone has something to share to contribute to the world. Everyone is becoming a star. Everyone is lighting up. They're powering up. I see it everywhere. Divine sparks are firing up all around me. Not because I am this awesome spiritual teacher. It's because of spiritual law. The law of physics and metaphysics. Because when you see the divine, simply everywhere you look, all you will see is the truth. Simply everywhere you look, you will see divinity. Everywhere as everything. My brother Dan Holquist posted something on Facebook today. It was worthy of me capturing. So Dan, thank you for your contribution to this presentation tonight, my brother. He says, you are free to choose, but you are not free from the consequences of your choice. You are free to choose, but you're not free from the consequences of your choice. And some people don't choose at all. And in the not choosing is still a choice is being made. Let me read something from Satya Sai Baba that'll kind of will put into perspective. It'll cast light upon what's happening in the world. And it's not what you think. And what you think is happening in the world is not happening whatsoever. You may have a glimpse or a bone or a scrap piece of information once in a while. But generally speaking, we have no idea what it really is. Because how many of us are aware of the world of the invisible? Because if you are, then you know what's happening in the world. If you aren't, all you can do is give it your best guess. Because that physical world and all the sad, bad events that are transpiring is coming from the world of the invisible. And it's far greater than the world of the visible. Think about it. How much actual physical matter are you aware of in the universe as opposed to all the empty space, the invisible? It's the invisible, like glue, holding all the visibility together, even those things that we are absolutely sure that we would swear on are separate. And I tell you, they are not. This may not interest many of you. It interests the heavens out of me. I'm tired of normalcy. So now plugging and turning my vision to the plant because I want outside of the box, and I'm getting really good at it. In fact, I'm to the point to where there is no more box. The lid's not just open. The walls are disappearing. I'm melting into the spirit. My awareness is growing rapidly. The luster of this world is fading from me. And I'm happy and sad all at the same time. And I want to offer you something, if you want it, if you're open, to be a part of that experience yourself. You are connected to the all of it already. The question is simply, are you aware of it? What benefits may I have in doing this, Keith? Everything. Power, freedom, stability, peace, abundance, playing in the arena of soul. This place in here is infinite. This place out here is limited to the mind and its beliefs. That's why I turn inward. I want what's in there. We are what's in there. From Satya Sai Baba. Suppose you are asked, who created all this multiplicity in the world? Who is responsible for all of this variety? what will you answer? The correct response is, there is no multiplicity at all. The one divine self remains the one self forever. You mistake it as many. The fault is in you. Correct your vision. Remove your delusion. The divinity did not change into the world, just as the rope did not change into a snake. In the dark, you mistook the rope to be a snake, but it remains a rope. So also, the divine self remains the divine self through your ignorance of this fact makes you see it as world. The world of the diversity stands on one leg called delusion. Cut that leg and the world falls. I often tell you not to identify even me with this particular body, Sathya Sai Baba's body. You do not understand. You call me by one name and believe I only have one form. But there is no name I do not bear, and there is no form which is not mine. Beings like Sathya Sai Baba behind me, like Swamiji Viswayogi, they are conscious of the all. They are not connected to the body. As to why I said when I fall inside, if I do this movie with T.M. Garrett, Sri Yanava speaks my soul, that I'm going to fall so far inside, I'm going to lose my identity as what I know as Keith, living in this meat suit. Continuing with Sathya Sai Baba's message. After long searches here and there in temples and in churches, at last you come back completing the circle from where you started and find that he for whom you have been seeking all over the world, for whom you have been weeping and praying in churches and temples, on whom you were looking as the mystery of all mysteries, is the nearest of near, your very self, the reality of your life, body, and soul. Assert it, manifest it. You as body, mind, or soul are a dream. But what you really are is pure existence. If I ask you to point to yourself, you do this. Because that is who you are. You are pure existence. You've always existed. You exist now and will forever exist. This is the truth that can never be broken. You as mind, body, soul are a dream. But what you really are is pure existence. Knowledge, bliss. You are the God of this universe. You are creating this whole universe and drawing it in. To gain the infinite, the miserable little prison individuality must go. Follow the heart. A pure heart seeks beyond the mind, the monkey in the mind. Beyond the intellect even. It gets inspired. Within you is real happiness. Within you is the mighty ocean of nectar divine. Seek it within. Feel it. Feel it. It is here. The self. It is not the body, the mind, the intellect. All of these are simply manifestations. Above all these, you are. You appear as the smiling flower, as the twinkling stars. What is there in the world which can make you desire anything? That's why I'm reaching. That is why I'm stretching. That is why I am diving in. Because the world is losing its luster for me. I like playthings like we all do. But the shine on that diamond is dulling for me. People who know me know that I'm diving into my work. So much so that I'm losing ident of the world. I'm doing this in balance. I'm not running away. I'm doing this by conscious choice to live in this place. And it's like I just want to stay home and do my work. Because I will do this work to the last breath is drawn from my body. And another reason I'm staying internally referenced is because the feelings of bliss that move through me as I stay grounded and open to all possibilities. When you begin to feel this level of conscious awareness and spiritual development within you, you will then understand why I never want to leave it. I'm walking through the threshold of the golden door inside of this body. None of us have to die to do it. We don't have to perish to experience the truth, the light that illuminates everything and removes all of your questions. And when you begin to experience that, even for moments at a time, your fear of mortality begins to flee for you. It flees completely from you. Because you're connecting to something that sustains everything. Because you realize you're not going to die. You're dying every day. You lay your head down at night, the next morning you wake up, you have died, my friend, because you're shifting. Right now you're shifting. And right now you are shifting. And yet again, right now you are still shifting. You are moving through space on a rock that is spinning around a star that is all hurtling through space at thousands of miles per hour. We are time travelers. We came from that which is beyond time, that which is infinite. And as we're embodied and we have a linear mind, we use our mind to time travel. Think of something you did yesterday or last year with someone you love. Call it up in your ident. Make it real. You have time travel. Use your intellect, or actually, going to the past would be using your memory, which does not come from your brain, because when you die, your brain turns to worm food. It does not come from your mind, because your mind will be shattered when you cross to the other side. So it comes from the soul. You, my friend, when you had that memory just now, in your reflection, in your memory, you've touched your soul. And as you launch yourself to the future, through vision, you will see a future possibility. Think of something that's going to take place next week. One of your children is going to get married, or something just really, really cool. And you begin to see the idea. Now you may see what will take place, and it may be a little more difficult to see how it's going to take place, because these are more minute details. Minute details, the mundane is not important. The overall vision. So my friend, by using your intellect, you've time traveled. But it all comes back to center as the one who created both, the past and the future. And they have no choice but to be bridged in the eternal now. And you live in that space. And the door gets wider. And the door gets wider. Let me take some questions. Elizabeth says the veils are very thin. People are seeing and sensing a lot stronger. They are very thin. Very. Not only for people who are doing the spiritual work. They're getting exponentially thin for those. But even for people who are just, let's just call them for the sake of everyday people. It's all a spiritual path, but let's talk about those who are not on a deliberate conscious path as many others are. The veil is thinning for them as well, and they may not understand what is happening. Another reason, and the importance and how integral it is to turn inward so you can make sense of what may look like chaos. Because there is a potential of things to take place that you will not understand, even in your best attempt to do so. And for those who are doing the work, imagine how the veil is thinning for them. Speaking for myself, it's thinning. Hello, everyone in the virtual room. Thank you, Elizabeth, for the point. Sean Renner says, play John. I guess he's talking about when I was advertising how I would be more than happy to help you remove bad spirits from your house. He says, play Johnny Cash reading the book of Matthew. Play Johnny Cash reading the book of Matthew. The evil spirits hate that shit. I love it. Victoria says she loves social media. I love social media. My brother Dan Hoquist, we are the stuff of stars. Woodstock, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. We are stardust, we are golden. We're billion years old carbon. We must get ourselves back to the garden. It's just a simple intention to connect to your soul. Close your eyes, take a breath. With the intentions to connect, take another breath. With the intention to be aware of that connection, take the third breath. To be fully engaged. And you ask your divine parent, are you here with me in this moment? Tell me what fills your consciousness stream. You hear, yes, I am. Why would anyone ever doubt that? The voice of conscience that said, I have always been here and have never left. What I am offering to you, the present time that we're living in, because that veil is thinning, as Elizabeth said, 10, 15 plus years ago, we had to work. Spiritual aspirants had to work. We had to bring golden shovels to dig through the dirt, to remove the fog from around the mind. But it's paying off because now millions upon millions of people are plugged into the grid, the divine grid. So the veils are thinning exponentially. And now all it takes to connect to your Creator consciously is to say, are you there? And you hear it as clear as day. And whatever life you're living that may seem to be the darkest night, that voice will be the light in your day. Stay in that place. Stay in it. You lose sight of it, don't be hard on yourself. Just get back to being in the garden. Simple shift. It's just a shift from here. Oh, wow, I forgot to stay in the space of garden, or in the space of soul, or my favorite new word is kingdom. And all you do is and you feel it. And there you are, back home, because you could bet there's a place of you that is still there. It has never left. You can't leave the garden to come to the earth. If you separated from who you are, you would go out like a light. You cannot separate from the source of who you are. You're always plugged into it. But the magic, the miracles, the serendipities, the alignments, the coincidences, those two things that coincide is when we connect. When we connect. Being in the garden. June 24th. I am going to be doing a presentation at Art Body Soul in Memphis, Tennessee. Admission is $20 on radical transformation. I'm going to be bringing forth light wisdom, light, power, and it's going to be tangible. It's going to be palpable. You will actually literally be able to touch it. And in so doing, it's going to help you in your conviction or your faith or your level of belief within you, because you're going to know that within you is that thing that you're experiencing. And we're going to dial it in. And I'm going to show you exactly how to stay in it. And I'm going to do that by touching you. I'm going to open up the chakras in my hands and the gate of my heart. And I'm going to begin to push I'm going to push. I'm going to spend the energy. I'm going to be the bridge that connects everyone present together. That's where the power comes in, is in the connection with everyone. Victoria, thank you, beautiful. She says in the thread, artbodysoulstudio.com for more information about that presentation on radical transformation. To help you fall into elation on your spiritual vacation, so you can be the sublimation via your initiation, integration, and I hope for you one day that you can reach a level in this lifetime of graduation. That is my gig. That is my intention for that presentation. What you are seeing in this world is not what you think. What you think is taking place isn't. And what you think is, isn't. And what you think isn't, is. This is very powerful information. I understand all the horrible things that are happening. We use the word horrible to describe. I understand. We've all had experiences in our life that brought us to our knees. Think of the valuable wisdom that came out of that scenario. When you're in the situation, you can bet your sweet ass you're going, this sucks. 10 years down the road, in hindsight, you're like, oh my God, I would never change what took place at that period of my life, because the wisdom that shapes me would have to leave as well. If you tossed away those lessons, the wisdom that shapes you goes in the trash as well. And at that time, you would swear this is so horrible. But the wisdom you've gleaned from it is your power. So as we look out into the world, chaotic as it seems, there is an order. There is a divine order. It's the glue holding the things that we may even see as separate together. And so we go from a space of pity and feeling sorry for people who are dying because they're malnourished or sick and disease-ridden because there are no medicines, or the wars. We move from that petty small place to a space of divine compassion. I don't mean human lower level compassion. I'm talking about something that is much broader and imbued with so much light. It's the Buddha compassion. I am out to end suffering. I am out to end suffering. But to end suffering is not done the way one might think. It's done by turning on the light within ourselves. And we do that when we get out of the noise of the world, that chaos that we may be seeing as we look out, around, in, out, up, and about. And we see from a different perspective, a backed off, broader perspective. Then we can truly love what's happening. And we leave it alone because we love it. We love you as you are. Unfold according to your own time and space. Unfold when you're ready. Regardless, I love you. How does that change the world, you may ask? Love changes everything. It allows things to be as they are. That's what love is. Love is allowance and accepting and appreciation. The 3 A's: allowance, accepting, and appreciation. And when you tap into that, back off. See the world as this beautiful jewel just floating in space. Because if you back off far enough in a space shuttle, you can't see what you may have deemed as chaotic anyway. In fact, that doesn't even cross your mind. In space, looking out of the window at the Earth, you're going, oh my God, how beautiful is that? Same idea. But when you can engage to bring light to make a situation to its fullest potential, engage in it. But with a step back attitude, it'll create altitude. Because really, the world is not changing. Hello, John Wright. The world is not changing. I don't care what you see. Guess who's changing? All of us. If you want to see the world change, become the change in the world that you want to see. And for those who are not participating with this program, they are blessed. They may not be seen as the ones changing the world, but you can bet they will be used as an instrument for the change. I don't want to be on that side of the fence. Victoria says, beautiful blessings tonight. Keith, love and light to you. Back at you, darling. This is the importance and how integral it is to plug in. And the more you are passionate and sincere about finding God that lives right in the center of your chest, your favorite deity, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, Krishna, Paramahansa Yogananda, your grandmother, your child, whatever represents that which is beautiful and all-loving and all-powerful. Hold it within yourself and meet it. Meet that challenge every day. Get out of the fight. Stop fighting the world. Stop fighting terrorism. Stop fighting politics. Stop fighting with your loved ones, because it's all an internal bickering, and it belongs to no one but you. The truth does not need anyone's permission to exist. You could bet that in this entire universe, there are gazillions upon gazillions of truths that we know nothing about. So living in this small place, this small rock, 75, 80 years if we're lucky, don't shut your vision off. Open your eye and close your eyes. A blind man once said, it doesn't take physical sight to climb Mount Everest. Instead, it takes vision. Vision comes from the soul. Close your eyes and visualize. It did not come from the brain. That's worm food when you die. It does not come from the mind. Though these might be catalysts to bring the vision through from the soul. Because you could bet when you pass the other side and you have no brain because it's worm food, and you have no mind because it's been shattered by the light, and you are now exposed to all those truths that does not need anyone's permission to exist, you're going to be living in absolute, complete spiritual vision, living in the garden of light. And anything you want to create for yourself will manifest in a holy instant, because you are aligned with vision and your soul, depending on who you are and how you leave this world. I am not implying Hades, hell, pit of fire. It's a bunch of erroneous, ignorant noise. I don't believe in it because I'm not focused on it. And what you focus on is what you will get. And since my focus is 100% light, spirit, truth, and God, it does not exist in my purview. Because what I am seeking is so high in vibration. Anything else that is of any other nature than that is so low down the totem pole, I cannot experience it. Neither can you or anyone who jumps aboard the train to Ascensionville. The world is beautiful, and it's all I see. I don't see racism. In fact, the one thing that, to be really honest with you, that really bothers me more so than the groups who might be racist and ranting, or political and ranting, and this and ranting, or my dear close friends who claim, and this is not about me calling them out, this is about me being honest, who claim that they are a good person, and yet they will turn around on social media and post a picture that says, you must say something nice. You are harmful to yourself. You are harmful to everyone in the world. By your mean-spiritedness, that does bother me. And you see, because I'm not going to look at it, because I want no part of it, I will delete you immediately. So like that devil, or the darkness, or the evil, or the bad things in the world, I don't give it any credence. I'm done with it. So because it does not exist for me, it doesn't exist. If a tree falls in the forest and no one is there to hear it, does it make a noise? What's happening in the world is not what you think. What you think is not happening in the world likely is. Get out of the noise and get into yourself. Well, Keith, that sounds selfish. Goddamn right it does. Because it's all about you. No matter how selfless you think you are or achieve to be, it all comes right back down to being selfish. I'm going to join the military because I want to be of service in this way. Seems selfless, doesn't it? It's selfish. One does it because it brings them joy to be of service in that way. Or one may choose to do this because it appears to be selfless. It all comes back to selfishness. Selfishness, because everything always comes back to center. You sit in a still pool and you throw a pebble in the pond, the ripples come back. So no matter where you are in your life, as my friend Dan Hoquist said in his Facebook post today, you are free to choose, but you are not free from the consequence of your choice. My dear friends, the time is now. It's not coming. In fact, it will never come because time does not exist. How can time come if it doesn't exist? You are it. You are timeless. You are a time traveler. You came from the infinite sea of cosmic energy. And you are the infinite sea of the cosmic soul. You are a fragment of it. And we all own a piece. We are all droplets in a divine ocean. And it takes every drop to make that ocean. The time's not coming because time doesn't exist. How can it come? The time is now. The time is now. Next week on Center of Light Radio, 2-hour special. Center of Light, 4 million listenership. I think my guest is going to be Kelly Marie Kerr from the UK. Powerful. She's going to pull out her knowledge and wisdom of her own discovery of how certain texts from the Bible directly relates to the physiology in the body and also the spiritual chakras It's absolutely genius. Genius. centeroflightradio.com. Go to YouTube, look up Center of Light Radio, or you can go to youtube.com/Center of Light Radio. Subscribe to my page. My work, my play is growing. Be a part of that expansion. I'm blessed man to say I'm plugged into beings of divine light, such as Swamiji Visvayogi, who is coming back to Memphis at the end of summer. I'm excited because he brings things not only to my awareness in the form of a presentation he may be giving. Being around him physically, the light engulfs everyone, and he begins to impregnate people with information that will help you to expand into the light, the bliss, the abundance, though you may not know he's doing it. A month or so later, something starts transpiring within your consciousness because he planted a seed and is beginning to germinate. And now you are beginning to blossom so you can plant yourself in the Garden of Soul. My name is Keith Blanchard. I will see you next Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Central Time. Live in that light. Live in that light. Thank you very much. Much bliss to you this evening. Remember, when you lay down at night, you have nothing to do. You might as well be doing something. Close your eyes. Intend to connect with your Creator. Second breath. Intend to be aware of that connection. Third breath. Use it to engage and ask your divine parent, are you here with me? And you will hear, yes, I am. Peace, love.
inside.